Would you accept an apology from someone if they wouldn't even acknowledge what they had done? If they just wanted you to move on, maybe even without an apology, just move on, get over it. Let's just move on. I don't think so. And that's what it's like when, as a country, we ask Black people to move on without acknowledging the wrongs that have been done. So people often say, oh, you're playing the race card, you're harping, but the narrative is often that we want to minimize what was done to Black people. Well, Oprah did a story on the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, which Bryan Stevenson is a major part of. You might have read his book, Just Mercy. And the whole museum is dedicated to the Black people who were enslaved, terrorized by Jim Crow, police violence, mass incarceration. It honors their lives, and in a way, it tells the stories that go untold. In our country, there's a feeling of wanting to move on and rush to healing when we haven't acknowledged pain. A colleague of mine, Wisdom Powell Brown, did a study, and we found that when you ask people to forgive without letting them feel their negative and positive emotions in their fullness, that actually does more harm than good. It makes me think of Germany and the Holocaust. They're adamant about teaching about the Holocaust so that they don't repeat it. Or South Africa and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and Rwanda, where rather than trying to ignore the genocide, they want to remember collectively all the lives that were lost. So I share this just to say, we have to be honest with ourselves. If we can't acknowledge something, we can't change it. And so if you're upset or feel uncomfortable about the fact that Oprah and 60 Minutes decided to show the full images of people being lynched, you should be just as outraged that the violence against Black people continues. The reality is, it happened. Ask yourself, did you feel uncomfortable when those images were shown? And was that uncomfortableness about the fact that it happened, or about the fact that you were being forced to watch the images? One is quite different than the other. And this isn't just about Black Americans getting the validation and acknowledgement that they need to move forward. This is about all Americans, white, Black, Native American, Asian American, Latinx, all backgrounds, all races and ethnicities, acknowledging the history of our country. I would encourage anyone who's near Montgomery, Alabama to go to the memorial. And the reality is we have a history of lynching across our nation. And what can we do to remember, honor, learn the stories of people who were lynched and terrorized by racism? Their stories deserve to be heard. And this memorial is a beautiful start to collectively remember and honor them.